Well, we've got some great email questions today. Let's start with Renee. She says, what is the proper answer when someone asks you how you know that your God is the true God and not Buddha, Allah, Zeus, Confucius, and etc.?
There are a couple of answers here, Renee. One is, can you become an expert in Christian apologetics? But I don't recommend that. There are people who are called into that have the skill set for that. But the average person, what you really need to develop is, what's your gospel? We've got 4 gospels in the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But what's Renee's gospel? What evidence do you have of Jesus in your life? How has he transformed you? How has he changed you? How has he healed you? How has he set you free? How has he been a blessing to you? It's that testimony, that witness of what he's done for you that conveys to other people the truth that he is the way, the truth, and the life. It's your witness, and keep that in mind. Always be prepared to tell people the reason for the hope within you. That's what the Apostle Paul said, and adopt that. What's your gospel? What is your witness of what Jesus has done for you? And then ask them, if they're a follower of this other God, well, what has your God done for you? How has he brought you hope and peace and righteousness and joy? How has he done that? So live out your testimony, and it's in that testimony that you convince other people. I've never been able to argue anyone into heaven. It just doesn't work that way. But the more I tell people what Jesus has done for me, the more I show testimony of what he's done for others and say, this can happen to you if you do the same thing. What this person did is they prayed to Jesus and they got an answer. And he'll do that for you if you do the same thing.
All right, great. Well, Michelle writes in, I recently received...
I got a great.
Michelle,
okay,
it was great. A+. All right. Michelle said, I recently received received my first passport and was shocked to see it has a microchip inside of it. I know it's not the mark of the beast, just more Big Brother leading up to the mark. Is it safe to have? And what information is really stored in it? Who has access? And does it have to be scanned to be activated? Good question.
I'm not familiar with this. I am familiar with the microchip that's in the there's a global program, the United, I've forgotten what they call it, a global traveler program, where you have a card that goes along with your passport, and in that card is a chip, and that has a lot of information about you on that chip, and there are biometrics attached to that chip, so that when you put your fingers on a scanner, it scans your fingerprints and says it's the same person. The person that's supposed to be holding this card is the same person at this booth. You have to protect that information, and the government even tells you put this in a sleeve that other scanners can't read, because RFID technology can be read by anybody. So you need to be very protective of that. And that kind of information, we're going to biometrics. And we're doing that in an effort to find security. And so it's that chip along with a biometric scan. So they're either going to do an iris scan. Right now they're just doing fingerprints. Yes, do I see it leading to another thing that's on your forehead and on your hand? You betcha.